Hey there. Oh, I meant to. Uh, well, what the hell? I was gonna. I ain't shaved today. Fuck it. Allow me to introduce myself. Yeah, D. Gordon Franks here. Uh, those that grew up without proper role models, you can tell them because they fail to know how to act properly, correctly. Uh, for somebody to glorify dropping out of school in eighth grade is something to be proud of. That astounds me, honestly. Not that education is the end to justify any means except that you are capable of learning. To lack it and cast aspersions on one simply because they achieve goals that you couldn't is pitiful. You blame it on your dope fiend Eastern European mama. You blame it on your father that you met your mother when she was a hooker while he was on the police force working vice and narcotics. The meeting turned into something more. He turned her into his paid informant on the books, but off the books she was his whenever he wanted her to be. She still worked and he employed her to increase her earnings while he held on to her money for safekeeping. She had been experimenting with drugs since the early 70s, yet with his access to drugs, he routinely supplied her with heroin and then cocaine as well, since he indulged with her on that. And it was a no-brainer that she would indeed become addicted. And she did. Of course she did. Now, at first it was given to her in such quantities, and it was a wonder that she didn't OD more times than she did. What did he care? She was nothing more but one of his snitches that was a hooker and a drug addict. It wasn't like she was the only one. When you worked in narcotics, the more snitches you had, the better. Pretty ones was theirs for the taking, and were taken by many of the members of his team. He had known she had become addicted since that was the plan from the very beginning. It gave him more power and control, and this in itself was intoxicating. The more drugs took their toll, the less feelings for her as a person he held. The sex, though, that was what he cared the most about. He had soon given up trying to find her bottom level for depravity. Whatever act he could think up was accepted by her without a whit of discontent. He marveled that she would accept anything he dreamt up. When she told him she was pregnant, he beat her very badly. It wasn't the first time that he had done it, and had then capped it off with him stuffing his tool down her throat, unable to make her gag, since he wasn't working with that much to begin with. Now, the money he gave her for an abortion, she used for new lingerie for her boudoir. Not that she ever wore it, because she refused to accept that she was losing weight. It never fit from the very beginning. What did fit was a new set of works, or syringes, and a couple of speedballs, heroin and cocaine mixed. That combination was something that made her have multiple orgasms from time to time. Not all the time, but enough to be appreciated when they came. The first time it happened, her cop lover had freed her arms, but she had been tied spread eagle to the four-poster. His head was buried in her muffin when she shot the speedball into her vein. The very idea of it hit her, just as the tremors began rocking her. She glanced down as she felt his rapier-like tongue raking her clit, as she noticed that he was masturbating. They came together, and she was fantasizing whether or not the twins that she was carrying were coming as well. She felt a kick on one side, and a moment or two later, there was another kick on the other side. It made her smile because she knew her unborn son had come as well. This thought sent her into more spasms of pleasure as she thought of the beating she was going to get when she told them that not only was she pregnant, but that she was carrying twins. She licked her lips in anticipation and shuddered as another orgasm consumed her. She noticed she still had the spike in her arm and reached over to pull the plunger up and depressed it again as the orgasms didn't come, but a new feeling of euphoria enveloped her as she gave in and let it happen. One more overdose never hurt. The pregnancy went as terrible as could be expected. The morning sickness was nothing compared to being dope sick. The both of them together was almost unbearable. Almost, but not quite. While true, she had lost a few regulars because of her dope use or being pregnant, she picked up way more tricks because of her condition. That she was a total freak in bed was itself a plus. A lot of the working girls were into sex strictly for the money. While she loved the money, she enjoyed doing any and everything that could be thought of. She preferred anal love above all, but had dabbled in lesbianism, bestiality, gay, group orgies, pedophilia, necrophilia. And she preferred dead men over dead women for obvious reasons. She had never found a true single sexual perversion that she could not gain pleasure from. That she got paid for it was icing on the cake, since she had done it free on many occasions. She was having less and less to do with her cop boyfriend. He was already married and had other children that he doted on. Besides, his mother had long ago forbidden that white devil, as she called her, entrance into her home. The last time he'd spoken with her was by phone. He explained that if she didn't get an abortion, she could count on him for nothing. She told him that she always knew he was a bitch since he had first implored her to penetrate him with a double-ended dildo. Sometimes they would face each other while playing with it, but he preferred it best while they were facing away from each other. At such times, he adored how he looked in the mirror. She told him that he would always be her bitch and hung up the phone. She left the receiver off its cradle as she was wont to do when she was no longer interested in communicating with the outside world. She had enough money and drugs stashed away to last a lifetime, or so she thought. In the back of her mind, she knew this wasn't true, but she figured she could always turn a trick for dope or money if she needed it. It didn't go like she planned. The dope ran out and the money left faster than the dope. One thing that helped her out a bit was selling her baby milk. She got a premium price for it, and it doubled when she let a client suck it directly from her extended nipples. After the boys made their entrance into the world, they never got an opportunity to be suckled at her breast. That milk was too expensive for those little brats. She made sure she gave them plenty of formula, and they were none the wiser. What you didn't know or never had, you couldn't miss. At least that was her logic. As it was, she had no maternal feelings toward the boys at all. As a matter of fact, she resented them at first, but as time went on, she began to despise them, and she blamed them for all of her current as well as past problems. She occasionally called the father of the children, and he would periodically supply her with drugs, but he wanted nothing to do with the boys. He had no idea that she would inflict pain on the babies whenever she felt like getting back at him. One of the boys received more torture than the other. She hated them equally. She constantly pushed a soft spot in the top of the baby's head until it felt like she could push a manicured fingernail through the baby's skull. She imagined the only reason that she didn't do it was because there was two of them. As the boys gained a little size and age, it occurred to her that she could offer the boys up on the market along with her own body. Surprisingly, she had more than a few customers interested in watching the shows that she would put on with the boys. She'd nicknamed Love and Liz. She performed fellatio on both of the children, sucking them off one at a time. Once she held one of them with his face buried in her womanhood until he passed out from lack of oxygen, but she climaxed and didn't care what happened to him. Thankfully, the victim paid to see this was familiar with mouth-to-mouth resuscitation and brought the boy back to consciousness again. She didn't care either way. And there you have it. That is a from a diary that fell into my hands from the twins' mother. Yes, just chock full of, well, you've heard it, and it's up to you. You know, I make no judgments. She did what she wanted to do. In any event, let me know what you think. All right.